Man, so I sat at a bar for the first time in a very long time the other day.
It's, it's weird, isn't it?
Dude, it was so like after one of the streams, I took our guest Mike out for drinks, and then and it was a very empty bar, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like we had a tab going and everything, and it just felt bizarre.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, I just like woke up after a long week of work, and I was like, just get out of the house. Let's see what places have survived the pandemic. Because there was a bar called the Coyote Club that opened up 6 months before everything shut down,
Oh, oof.
and it's a little less than half a mile away from me.
Oh, okay.
So I found out they were still open, and I went and sat down. They've got 4 or 5 pinball machines. They've got an old school photo booth.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it's super dope. And it's super cool looking bar. It kind of looks like um, if you took the trap room in Omaha,
Yeah.
that bar that looks like
I
a
love the track
grandfather's
room.
basement,
Yeah.
you
I
took
love that.
that and made it way bigger.
Oh, okay.
Like that's
Do
this
they
bar.
have grapefruit soda though?
They do not.
Well, shit.
I mean, I didn't ask because I wasn't really looking for it.
You know.
Um, but I went and
Please
sat
don't think
down.
about me.
I was chatting with the bartender because she had no one sitting at her bar, and it's a very large bar. A lot of people
Okay.
were sitting
Yeah.
outside, and it was just nice to be back. Like, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, I stood up, and I started walking. I got like 4 steps away from my bar stool, and I was like, "Hey, is this okay? Is this okay?
Yeah. All this lack
This is
thereof.
fine." And she was like, "Yeah, no, it's fine. Just move. Like you're good." Because like they're running the honor system, which I
Yeah.
admire, and it scares me because I don't trust people
No,
ever.
not at all. Not at all. What if you're like, is this good? And she's like, yes, you are very handsome. Now what else do you need?
I would have been so happy
Yeah.
because she was a cutie. So I went back and saw her. Hey. But yeah, so I went to the bathroom, I came back, I sat down, and I was just like, and I like was about to get up and leave eventually because I had things to do, and I started to put my mask on, and I was like, you don't have to do that here.
Yeah.
What?
It's weird.
It just feels odd, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. No, and I'm in like in and out of training classes for work and stuff. And I walk up on this past Monday and it said, if you are fully vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask. And I was standing at the door and I'm like, and I like walk in and I feel super anxious and uncomfortable because I feel like everyone's judging me. And then somebody else comes around the corner and he doesn't have one. I'm like, oh, we're
Oh,
okay here. We're okay
yay!
here. We're all like we're all like police officers, firefighters and stuff. So like most of us have them. And it's just so weird. And it's crazy how quickly I went back to pre-pandemic no mask because I went for lunch and I got out of the car and I was like, I gotta go get it.
Oh,
My brain instantly went back.
I'm still not there yet.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just like one little taste and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm gonna go back. Oh crap.
I have my moments where, I mean, for the most part, a lot of bars, or they have their, I mean, the rules are bars can have their own rules because obviously that's how a business works.
Yeah.
And like where I work, we still all wear masks. And if you're standing up in the restaurant, no matter if you're vaxxed or not, you have to wear a mask, which is fine. But I have to argue with people from time to time about it.
Yeah.
'Cause they're like, well, even if I'm vaxxed, and I'm like, yeah, even if you're vaxxed, I don't want to wear a mask either.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to wear pants most of the time, but I still got to do it.
You still got to do it, you know?
You know?
But see, that's why I work where I work, where sometimes I don't wear pants.
That's true. That is very true.
So what I like to tell people is that I'm vaxxed to the max and I'm ready to attack. I don't know what attack means, but we'll see.
You're coming. I don't know what it means, but you're coming.
I don't know what it means either. So, oh, hey, Jeff's here.
Hey!
Are you on a beach somewhere? You son of a beach.
Oh, got him. Got him.
Boom. Roasted. On that note, let's get this show on the road. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the BFC'S, where during most of the pandemic we were very deprived of Marvel content, and we decided let's go back through the movies. Let's watch the ones that we love, let's watch the ones that we don't like. And we're going through them in chronological order. And I have a special guest this evening because Jeff is unfortunately, I don't know, probably building a sandcastle somewhere.
I hope so.
I really hope so. I hope he has like a cool sandcastle story for us. He
Yeah,
probably doesn't. He probably doesn't.
But I'm gonna be really disappointed. But if he's listening, you better get one.
You better get one. All right. I mean, he's here, or he just showed up for a moment just to like say, "Hey guys." So he's like, he's kind of here.
Well, either way, I'm gonna text him after this and tell him he needs a sandcastle story.
I want a sandcastle pick. But on that note of the BFC'S. Lance, welcome. It's nice to have you as a co-host.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This feels awesome.
Yeah. What was the last movie you saw, and what are you drinking?
Oh, the last movie I saw. I watched The Other Guys last night.
Fun. Great.
Just because that movie's hilarious. It's so good. And so I've been referencing it all day, and nobody laughs at me. It's embarrassing.
Oh, so. Jeff and I reference it all the time when we play Apex.
Well, good. Now I know. I need to play Apex more. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I just updated it again last night, and it took forever.
Oh, lovely. My life's busy. I have so much.
You're so
busy. But, just doing things. Doing things. We'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, Jeff just said, "Aim for the bushes," which is the main reference that we make when we jump off.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That checks out.
It's one of the best references we could make.
Yeah.
I mean,
usually I just make Dirty Mike and the Boys references. Yeah, that's most of the references I get, or just like subtly reference TLC, and just nobody knows and nobody realizes because I just use it in conversation. So I creep and then walk away and like
that Lance dude's weird.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
I actually have a nice Capri Sun.
Ooh.
We went to Costco the other day and got a whole bunch of them.
And you're already almost out.
Yep, pretty much that. And I got some water.
Water's good. Because
hydration is important, and it's like hot as balls out.
Yeah, it is. Jeff, we wish you were here with us too. We love you.
Yes, we love you. We miss you. And this would have been a good one. I thought when I was doing this movie, I thought it was going to be all three of us. I'm a little disappointed, but just stoked to be here. It's going to be great.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun.
What about you, Siege? What you got?
What I'm drinking is a strawberry BL Seltzy.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, I'm looking at
BL,
that.
Son.
Looking at that carb and caloric intake. So
yeah, good to get that summer waistline back.
Got to get back into beach bod.
Yeah.
I'm not living forest life anymore. I had a really good country bod. Now I got to get to beach bod.
Damn right.
Very different bodies.
Son. Very different bodies.
So, and
what was the last movie you saw?
The last movie I saw was Army of the Dead.
Oh, I see. I haven't watched it yet.
I won't do any spoilers.
Okay.
Because I don't have a lot of time to watch movies anymore besides the movies that we watch. We're very understaffed here in New York. Well, we're everywhere in service industry is very understaffed. So I love to sleep, and then I watch nonsense until I go to sleep.
I like it.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But I took it upon myself Friday night to sit down and watch it. And I will say that it's exactly what you want it to be.
That's a good thing. That is a damn good thing.
Like, it's nothing more, nothing less. I mean, if you took Ocean's 11 and then put in like a B cast in it and then just added zombies, boom, you got the movie.
That's exactly what I want.
That's it. That's all you need.
Because like when I first saw it, like I in my brain put together like the game Payday and the games Left 4 Dead.
Oh yeah.
And just combine them to one righteous, ridiculous movie, which is all I want in the world.
It was a lot of fun. The performances were all really good. There was a couple things that I was like, but it did exactly what I expected it to do, and it just took like the stakes of a heist, which are already pretty goddamn high.
Yeah.
And then you just add zombies. That's it. That's the movie.
Yeah, add fairly certain death.
Done.
I dig it. I dig it.
So
it's like two of it. And I on paper, this movie's could be like my favorite movie of all time because it is my favorite two genres: heist movies, and zombie movies. All you need is a James Bond like character, and it's over. It's over.
Daniel Craig is in the movie.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
He's not in the movie.
That'd be sweet if it was, though.
Yeah, he just shows up as a James Bond cameo and then just gets eaten alive.
Just gets mauled.
Just straight up mauled. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And when you get a chance to sit down and watch it, I look forward to talking to you about it.
Cool, for sure, for sure.
Lance, do you want to announce the movie that we're discussing this week and tell us a little bit about it?
Dude, tonight we are talking about Avengers: Age of Ultron, the full team sequel to the Avengers movie, which is, way late. And yeah, basically the Avengers come together. Tony Stark, being the genius man that he is, decides to try to get ahead of wars. And in doing so, creates a monster in an AI known as Ultron.
Which was his plan, his dream for a very long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He discussed this with Banner, which they don't really get into that discussion at all. I don't know where you want to start with this movie because there's so many areas that I could.
Yeah. I want to start with I had a realization because this is the first time I'm watching movies while timing them. Looking at things, seeing how long things are, where things happen in the spectrum of the whole movie. Usually I just sit and enjoy it. But I'm realizing between this and the last episode, Marvel has a killer first 30-minute opening.
Yeah.
We talked about in the last episode that I was on with Winter Soldier, how amazing that first 30 minutes is. This, the exact same. Almost 30 minutes to a T.
I would agree.
The first 30 minutes was absolutely bonkers. It's insane. So much shit happens, and it's all gnarly, and it's all awesome. From the very beginning when they're attacking Baron von Strucker in Sokovia to the party scene, it's all phenomenal.
Yeah. It's the let's just talk about those first 30 minutes and the fight sequences and also just actually seeing them celebrate together for the first time.
Which was awesome. It was such a good moment.
Also looked like a killer party. All right.
Yeah, it was righteous. It'd be so much fun.
I don't know how people got invitations to that party.
I want to be there.
Yeah. There's just a bunch of war vets. What?
Yeah.
How did they get an invitation?
No. I think they got an invitation because those are the only friends that Cap still has.
Oh, valid. Okay. That makes sense.
Those are the people that are still surviving from WW2. And he's like, oh, yeah, I got to invite those guys. They were my old buddies. They were his old war buddies.
That makes sense. And that makes it even cooler.
That's how righteous that is.
It was so nice to see them celebrate and let their hair down for once.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And just to kind of get drunk together and play games with the hammer.
Yeah. Which was so much fun. So much fun.
He who has the power. They're yeah, give it a shot. Go for it. It's
he doesn't care.
It's a trick.
He doesn't care. I know. It's just it was cool to see them in that. You got a taste of it at the end of the first one when they're all sitting having shawarma, but that's it's a couple seconds.
And that's not even a celebration.
There's no personality there.
That's post meal. That's it. There's no conversation.
Yeah.
They're not making jokes. They're not having a good time. They're just happy to eat.
Yeah, which I've been there. We've all been there. But this was something totally different, and it was awesome. But even before that, there's a couple things that I want to bring up. The very beginning when they're storming the castle in Sokovia. Just absolutely just gnarly action sequence. You get to see everybody doing their thing. You get to watch Hawkeye hide behind a tree and time some shots out. Cap's on his motorcycle.
Cap throws his motorcycle.
Things. Okay, that's what I want to talk about.
Oh,
because right before that, Cap has the audacity to go language right before he murders a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Straight up. Oh, let's watch the language. And then he just rips the head off somebody. He crushes them with the motorcycle. And you have the audacity to go, language? No.
Straight up.
You killed so many people. You were
Yeah.
I love Captain America. Murderer.
Yeah, which is a big like thing about this movie and what Ultron is trying to like prevent.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, and it just kind of really brings in this like full fruition to like, oh shit, they are guys.
Yeah,
because they all have murdered.
They kill so many people.
So many people. Like, and that there's so much death in that first opening fight scene, which is great. The way that they blended each into each other and the way they did the shots coming in and out.
So everything's so fluid. You get to see a lot of really good team up moments between like Thor and Cap when he uses the shield.
Yeah,
and just clangs and just cuts right down. And like,
I think they're lining up.
Yeah. Man, so righteous.
It's so
righteous.
Good.
So much murder though.
But yes, they murdered a lot of people. But that brings us into the introduction to two new characters into the MCU. Which, with a lot of these larger cast movies, there's not that many people that are introduced because
there's already so much going on.
Yeah, and
it comes really close to being censor overload if you start introducing too many.
Yeah, but this is the direct introduction to Quicksilver, and who is not named this yet, but eventually will be the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Two awesome characters.
Absolutely awesome. At the end of the day, like, I mean, he is fast, she is weird.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes of the whole thing.
I don't know. He's fast. She's weird.
So great. Great. Sums them up so well.
And it shows them at such I mean, it's fucking, this movie's been out forever. So if you haven't seen it, get your life together.
Get your shit together.
So obviously, Quicksilver dies. But you see his arc to such a great extent. But you also get to see the Scarlet Witch at such a young, naive age.
Oh, she's so impressionable.
It's
that was the coolest part about going back and seeing it.
Yes. It was so nice to see like how much she has grown into the character that she is now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Elizabeth Olsen she has done quite a bit of work before this, but she still wasn't really known besides being an Olsen sister.
Yeah. Which I didn't even know about until like way later.
Yeah.
I didn't look up when I first saw her. I didn't look up because I wasn't expecting her to make a huge impact to the MCU.
I mean, she wasn't planning on it. She was supposed to do 2 movies and a cameo.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Then that makes sense. I see. And I didn't look too much into it until she became more of a regular thing. And then I looked her up. I don't remember when it was, but I looked her up later and realized, oh, that's weird. And as soon as I saw the resemblance.
The resemblance is 100% there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so great for her that she's not living in the shadow of her sisters by any means.
Not at all.
She is crushing it in the MCU.
Absolutely crushing it.
Performance-wise, work-wise, like.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely talk about WandaVision at some point, but the amount of acting work that she had to do for those 8 episodes and how many different styles and stuff that she had to go through.
Yeah, and as you know, I'm still not all the way caught up. I'm a couple episodes in, but even already, like, just watching the first episode, seeing or on all the Avengers movies and different movies before, and stepping into that first episode, you're like, that's different. You're different.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, you're a fucking player. Like you're here to fucking stay. Let's go.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, and then looking at Aaron Taylor Johnson. We know him from Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
That's one actor that I'm so jealous of their career.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when Kick-Ass came out, I was like, should have been me.
You look exactly like him.
I looked exactly like him at the time. I was so mad. And then seeing him in this, which was, I mean, he's grown up. He's got facial hair. His hair's kind of blonde.
Jacked.
Fucking jacked.
Damn.
He did such a good job of being a protective brother.
He did.
In comparison to, I mean, that's a whole I'm sure that that's going to be a whole chapter that we get into at some point tonight.
Yeah, because I have my own. We'll get there. I have my own feelings on that in itself.
We can get there. But just looking at the cast, for the most part, all returning players except for possibly like Claudia Kim, Dr. Helen Cho.
Yes.
All right, that was a very nice addition. We get to see Paul Bettany as a person.
Yeah, as a person.
That's super nice because he comes out as Vision. This is the person you probably think I'm going to bring up last, but it's not. James Spader. All right.
Oh yeah, dude. You could not have picked a better Ultron voice.
It was so good, and he was in a suit the entire time. I'm just like, how old is he?
Oh, I don't know.
He's got to be in his 60s.
At least.
Like, he was so good. And I know that, like, they obviously, it was all
61.
61.
Right now.
So then he would have been 56 at the time?
Yeah.
Maybe 55? I mean, on a side note,
he's like mid 50s either way.
On a side note, he does not look good for his age, but he can act really good.
No,
so.
for sure.
But the person I want to bring up, which is not going to be my number one, but one of the most fun additions, Andy Serkis.
Yeah, dude. Okay. So before we get there, are a couple things that I want to bring up just from like my expectations going into this movie and what I thought and what I felt just from a comic book standpoint.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like one of the big gripes that I have with this movie is when I saw Avengers: Age of Ultron, I thought we were getting Hank Pym. I thought we were getting Ant-Man now because Ant-Man, Hank Pym, is the original creator of Ultron, and instead of mirroring the Jarvis AI, he mirrors Hank Pym's brainwaves, and he looks at Hank like a father figure. There's a big dynamic there, but he looked at Hank and Janet Van Dyne as as his mother and father. It's a really weird dynamic that I wanted them to play more on with Tony Stark.
Okay.
He touched on it a little bit, but like I wanted serious like daddy issues with him and Tony because that would have been great.
That would have been cool.
But I lost my train of thought. What did you say right before that?
We were just talking about the addition of Andy Serkis and then the addition of James Spader. Yes.
Seeing Andy Serkis brings up so much excitement for so many things that can happen because they like all through this entire movie, they were throwing characters at you. Like you get Baron von Strucker right at the beginning.
Right away.
You get Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch right at the beginning. You get Claw not that far after this first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you're there pretty quickly. Like they threw a lot at you, and it shows there's so much in the back pocket of the MCU that they're willing to do, and they're like throwing lines out there and seeing if they'll sink, and even just seeing them now. And like I mean, obviously they brought Claw back later, which was awesome. But like Andy Serkis as Claw, we need a whole lot more of him. One way or another, I want more.
General.
Yeah.
The dude was fucking Gollum.
Fucking Gollum. Dude, he's Smeagol. Or not Smeagol. Smog, wasn't
he? No.
No, never mind. That's Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch, you're right. I made that wrong connection. But, yeah. Andy Serkis. Gnarly.
Yeah. Like, he's not my standout, but he was such a good addition to it.
Yeah.
I guess we've already got Jeff telling us his standout in the chat. Would you like to get into our standouts right now?
Yeah, we can. Before I don't have the chat pulled up. Can you tell me who Jeff's is?
I will tell you after you announce yours.
What?
I already told him mine in the chat, so.
Oh, well, tell yours first then. I want to hear yours.
No, Lance, you have to tell. You're a guest. Tell me yours first.
I don't like being guest. All right. So
Kobe Smulders.
Well, maybe. My personal standout, I kind of go back and forth. There's a lot of people that I could throw out, but my personal standout is Vision. Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany. All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
because the way that he completely embodied a brand new baby-faced AI that has all the knowledge in the world, but still knows nothing.
Yeah.
was like gave me chills the entire time. Like watching him, his facial expression when he gets crushed and flies through the party and then stops at the window
And then
and
he has that
stares at the world.
realization
That's
moment.
his first realization to like the spectrum. You can look on the internet all day, but until you look outside, you don't know how big the world is.
No.
You can't grasp that size and the size of everything in the spectrum and put yourself in the middle of that without actually looking outside. And that was his first time seeing it. And let's say his voice inflection and everything. I just think he fucking crushed it. He nailed it.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I would say that of any of the actors in the MCU, Paul Bettany is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, he's classically trained. He was in a fucking Knight's Tale.
He was.
We've talked about it before.
And you look at his range from being the announcer in the Knight's Tale to this, it's polar opposites.
Yeah. The dude fucking crushed it. Yeah. So Jeff said good choice. Ryan is now a part of the chat, and he put a bunch of thumbs up. So I don't know if that's his favorite, but let us know, Ryan, if that's your standout. My standout, it's got to be James Spader.
Yeah, okay. I see. I can't argue with that at all.
Dude, his vocal work, I mean, I know it was CGI, but like, I felt the fear there.
Yeah.
Beyond knowing that man looks he's not a fearful looking dude.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
No, but like I felt in his voice and I just felt that presence. And so Jeff and I both agree that it was James Spader for us.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I totally see that. And like the way that he used like the lower end range of his voice.
Oh yeah.
Like that growl that he's able to get as he goes through, like, oh gosh.
And I know that there is a lot of post work that comes with that, but I also know that he was in a full fucking suit, hanging out, during all of that.
Yeah,
like it wasn't someone else in a suit being Rocket.
Yeah.
And Ryan would agree. Paul Bettany is his standout. Okay. He said that it really brings to life a character that's been in the background for a long while.
Yeah.
Which is true. Sure. I mean, Paul Bettany has been in the most MCU movies.
Yeah. That checks out.
I don't know if anyone will ever beat him now.
Probably not.
Ryan also said the best part of Disney squiring Marvel is getting the rights to that song for the trailers. The Not Strings on Me or No Strings on Me.
Oh, yeah. That was that played so well.
Oh,
just the like menacing, maniacal madman that Ultron was.
Which because is he necessarily a madman though?
No. I guess that's not exactly what I mean. So when I reference how Vision showed up as a baby, not knowing anything yet knowing everything at the same time, Ultron was just one tiny step ahead of that.
Yeah,
he knew everything. Yet knew like one thing and clung on to that. And that created his entire existence.
100%.
That idea created his entire existence. And that's what caused him to do what he did and make the decisions that he made. Yeah. And like listening to like when he flies through in the Quinjet and I got no strings to hold me down. Like,
it's so good. It's so good. Nala's just barking at someone in my apartment. So
yeah, she does.
She does that. She's a dog. She barks, guys.
Dogs bark.
Dogs bark.
Dogs bark.
Dogs bark. So coming out of so we talked about a lot of characters. We'll definitely talk about the relationships, I think, later on. I think my biggest gripe with this movie is I think this should have been two different movies.
How so?
I feel like that they tried to shove so many things into this one movie. And really, the movie's only 2 hours and 22 minutes without credits. But it feels so much longer than that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, I feel like that in a way that coming out of Endgame into Infinity War, it could have been a similar thing. Because I wanted to get more into the relationship in between Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Thank you. Okay, because that's where my gripe's at.
That would have been that could have brought so much more light to that story, but they didn't plan
Yeah.
on keeping her around. They obviously didn't plan on keeping Quicksilver around. So,
Yeah.
like, I feel like that if they were to done like a half a movie of just like the process of that, because all of a sudden it's just like, we got the scepter, we broke it. Guess what? This is happening. We're all broken.
Yeah.
Cool. Somehow Stellar Skarsgård knows where, or Stellar Skateboard knows where to find a pool that Thor,
Yeah.
which maybe he figured that out because of Loki and is like, but it's never explained. It's just like,
It's never explained.
hey,
Which
this is gonna
I
be
got-
dangerous.
I had questions. Yeah, that gave me some questions. That was confusing. But like, I know, and I do agree. I do agree because even as we all know, like Quicksilver died. And you know how much I felt when he died? Fucking nothing.
No.
And like, as someone, I will be the first to say it. I'm a very emotional dude. When it comes to sibling relationships and losing part of that, like, that hits me. That hits me hard. That always does. And watching this, and I felt nothing.
His death didn't hit me. Scarlet Witch's reaction
That exactly
destroyed me.
Exactly. And I feel the exact same
rewatching
way.
that again, I was just like, it tore my heart out.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. But like, it bothered me that I only felt half of it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. We've both been through things that should be much more apparent of how we would react to that. And there was no build for his character. There was a protective side of him that you kind of saw.
Yeah.
And then
you got a taste of it, and you get a feel for what their relationship was before, but I wanted to feel it. I wanted to see it. I needed more of it.
And I don't even know if maybe I like, I don't know, feel more for Scarlet Witch because I've seen her in so many things since. That could be a possibility. That's convoluted and like
I thought about
opinion.
that, but she just had more emotional interaction with all the Avengers in itself.
Yeah.
Like when she starts to turn their mind and they all know and they start to confront her, and then she has the moment with Hawkeye in the house. Like she was humanized a lot. She had a lot of opportunity to humanize that they did not give Quicksilver.
And well, I mean, Quicksilver was just kind of a smartass the whole time.
Yeah.
He was a protective smartass, and that was it. That was he was just that dimension. There was no other side of him that we could really like see. Yeah. And then like all of a sudden they were like, oh, I guess we're a part of it now. And then they also just have tennis shoes for him on the Quinjet.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
What?
There's probably a badass 3D printer back there. They can make anything.
All right, I'll take that. I'll take that argument. Like I was just like, oh,
how do you think Hulk gets a stretchy pants? Quinjet 3D printers.
He's a scientist.
All right, that too. But yeah, I wanted to see more it would have been really good to see like nothing comes between us. Like him stand up to Claw or him stand up to Strucker for a split second because nothing gets between him and his sister.
That would have been amazing.
That would have helped a whole lot. Or even a touch of him standing between her and Ultron when they have that argument.
Yeah.
Like when she looks into Vision's head and she sees the world's destruction and they have that argument and they bail out. Like,
yes, he saves her because he grabs her, but
yeah, for sure. But if he would have stepped up and like asserted more and been a little more like just aggressive in trying to save her and protect her rather than just remove her immediately, would have played really well. Which,
I mean, that could have been what they were trying to do because she is the more intelligent person between the two.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, but she's also the little sister, and like I don't know. You should protect any of your siblings. That's end all. But there is that mindset that like you're a little sister, like you gotta fucking protect your little sister. Like,
yeah,
that's the thing. But yeah, it did not land. And I wish I would have seen so much more of that. And that's why I feel like this could have been two different movies. This could have been a movie leading up to the development of Ultron.
Yeah.
To Ultron.
Yeah, because then if they would have done that, we probably could have got a whole lot more out of Claw or Baron von Strucker.
Yeah.
And just really dug in, which would have tied later when you later down the road, which would have worked out. So I would have been okay with that for sure.
What I really want to talk about in this movie is one of the storylines that you don't see in any other ones. And I feel like that I was most excited to watch this and discuss it with you because of this storyline.
Okay.
Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah.
You get to see so much of Hawkeye. This movie is so much of this is about Hawkeye. About him being a protector.
Which is not what I expected at all.
At all. But it just organically happens in a way that that part of the story was told, I think, extremely well.
Absolutely.
Getting into his home, getting into like the Avengers all being broken down in the middle of nowhere at this safe house.
Yeah.
Getting to see his family, getting to see his pregnant wife, finding out that Nat knows them.
Yeah, and she's like, she's Auntie Nat, and I mean, you got so much. Again, this movie is so packed with things from beginning to end. But like, even in this few minutes that we are at the Barton household, you get so much. You get to see interactions between Nat and Banner, and see there's some things going on there more than what we thought before.
More than what we thought before, because also that could have been fleshed out in a previous movie if this was two movies.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
But I agree.
Yeah, we get a whole lot more, and that would have made a whole lot more sense when it talks about like son's getting low, big guy. Like if they could have played into that relationship and shown why that is a thing, because it just happened.
You don't know why it's a thing.
Yeah, you get to see that. You get to see the startings of a Civil War like argument between Cap and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Just Barton coming home, the reason he's doing these things, how they stayed off the grid, and just there's a lot. There is a lot.
Linda Cardellini is introduced, and I love her.
I love her.
I've always had a crush on her ever since she was in Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I have a crush on her more now, seeing her as Mrs. Barton.
Oh yeah.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, and it was so nice and refreshing to see this.
Yeah.
Which makes the payoff later so much worse.
I know.
So much worse.
I know.
We will get into that. We're not going to get into that tonight, but that was one of my favorite storylines that was happening.
I'll be back for that.
Oh, I know you will be.
Yeah, and I've always been a Hawkeye guy.
Oh, I know. Of all of us that try and put ourselves in like the shoes of any of these superheroes, like Jeff will say that he's Captain America, which there are things that yes, and then things that are definitely not. I will say that I could last when we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, maybe I'm Peter Quill. Like maybe that's a possibility. But there is never a doubt in my mind that you are not Hawkeye.
Yeah.
There's never a doubt in any of our minds.
Yeah. And then there's just so many, even just looking now and like my current life as it is, the weird steps I take to keep like my family safe and do little things to make sure that nothing comes near them or anything like that. I just like double down all day.
Yeah. And watching this, that's why I was so excited to talk to you about it, because I get to see this family man who is a fucking badass just because he's good at what he does. Not because he's a superhuman, not because he like was like brainwashed or something. Like he's just a solid dude. And then later you see him go bad.
Oh.
Not even bad, but you see him turn. And that's also a world that I fear.
A lot of people should. Which I want to see a whole movie on what happened in that time.
Oh yeah,
but the MCU is not ready for that. The world's not ready for that because it's fucking dark.
No,
as somebody who's mentally thought there and been there, it's fucking dark.
What my other issue I think with this movie, and I had the same issue with Thor: Dark World, and I think maybe it was early in the MCU is why I have this issue, and I'm hoping that this will be resolved later, is the fact that this movie could have been so much darker.
Oh yeah. It should have been.
It should have been. It had moments where it was like, oh, this is getting spooky. This is getting, they're getting in people's brains, and then it was back to Joss Whedon.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's And that's where, as much as I like Joss Whedon, as much as he's done a phenomenal job with the MCU, that's where this movie fell short.
Yeah, and
if he would have co-written it with somebody, I think it would have been a better movie. And watching it this time, like, I think when I first saw this movie, I didn't give it a whole lot of credit, but like, it's better than I remember it being.
It's better than I remember it being in the same way that I thought Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
But it was that it needed to pick a genre.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that this one, it would get dark and then it would just stop. Because at this point in the MCU, they still had a large audience, but they wanted to keep that large audience for the future stuff that they have. And they've been getting darker. And what I'm hoping happens is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is dark for the first time. Like, truly dark.
Yeah. What year did this movie come out?
2016? 2015? 2015. 2015.
Okay. Because that's the problem I have with it. I think you're totally right. I think if they would have settled on a genre, it would have been a whole lot better. But like, they started settling into genres before this.
Yeah, but this is going to be the
Winter Soldier came out 2 years before, and they could have done that.
This is the most jarring genre. You can bring people into a spy movie with superheroes. They'll still be into the superheroes. You can bring people into a fucking group superhero movie. People still love superheroes.
Yeah.
But if you want to get dark, like if you want to get truly dark, that is going to turn people away.
Yeah, but even then, like, I mean, because even then, it would have been awesome. It would have been a much better movie as like settling on that dark genre and settling on that just dark storyline and making it super heavy and paying it off at the end. But there are so many mixes of other genres that it just kind of just doesn't make sense in the end.
It doesn't make sense. And the way that I get it, because this has to lead up into the darkness of losing half the world.
Yeah.
So I think it would have worked, and in my opinion, it would have been a fucking way better movie, but I understand why they didn't go for that. But when it comes to like Thor: The Dark World, they should have ran for it. But that was even much younger as it was. Like that was
they
weren't ready for it. So, but I think we're officially ready for it, and I'm looking for a dark Marvel movie. And if it's not dark,
I'll be upset. I'll be upset.
Oh, freak out. You heard it here first.
Yeah, real quick, just referencing one quick thing that I want to talk about in the Barton household, which was my favorite really subtle thing, was Mrs. Hawkeye talking about how long's that going on between Banner and Nat? And Clint's like, what? What are you talking about? And she laughs like he's an idiot. Like, all your super secret spy squirrel shit training and all that stuff, and you've been everywhere. You've done so many things. It doesn't stop you from being a dumb dude.
It doesn't stop you from being a dumb dude.
Just being dumb and oblivious, and I totally get it.
And also, as an audience member, none of us knew it was happening because they never explained it.
Nobody explained it.
Only Laura knows. That's it.
Yeah. I still don't get it.
It's fine. It is what it is. I think there's definitely some like plot holes in this movie. We talked about the pool that Thor hung out in and took like a bath.
Yeah, they didn't explain that. That bothers me
at all. It was nice to see Stellar skateboard again, but
yeah, he just like leaves, and Thor's like, "I got shit to do," and then he just meets him outside of a school, and then they just go, "What is going on right now?"
Yeah, no explanation in that. I mean, it was really cool to see Captain America just rip a log in half.
Boom!
That was cool.
Yeah. Peak physique, Chris Evans.
Oh, peak physique. For sure.
Like, this is when he was at his best.
Yeah. For sure. The dude was a snack.
Yeah.
He was a straight up snack.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, they even left a lot of plot issues with Ultron. Like, Ultron shows up, and once he kidnaps Black Widow, and then he gets ripped in half, and he's just giant. Like, there are so many iterations that I wanted to see, that I really want to see. I want to see how these failed. Like, if he attacks one of the Avengers and that fails, and he becomes stronger because of that. Like, I want to see this trial and error process. Like, we needed that.
That would have been great in a second movie.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
I know. Marvel, get at me.
Yeah.
I know some shit about some shit.
Clearly. You wouldn't be doing this.
Lance, do you want to take a quick break? And then we'll come back to this in a moment.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. We're going to be back in just a moment. All right. We are back. I hope you enjoyed the smooth stylings of the Catman, Cat Mouse.
Smooth.
He's a super cat-like. Meow. So we are still talking about Avengers, Age of Ultron. I still have Lance here. And Lance, I know you have other things to talk about.
Yeah, just in general, one thing I really want to say about this movie, like, this movie has more one-liners than any movie in the entire, probably just the entire Marvel universe in itself. And they are also some of the best individual lines, I think. Like, we already talked about the he's fast and she's weird. Like, so good. It comes off the cuff. Kobe Smulders absolutely crushed that line. It was phenomenal. But there's so many, like, when they're in the party and Tony Stark says, I will be reinstituting Prima Nocta.
Great line.
Like, and I think you forget that Iron Man, Tony Stark, he's a playboy. But the entire MCU, he's linked up with Pepper, whatever issues that they're having. You don't get to see a whole lot because he's too busy being Iron Man. But he's too busy saving the world. But you get that dude as a player, getting after it. And you're like, oh yeah, he's kind of that. Yeah, that's what he would do. That is exactly what he would do in real life.
Yes, that is 100%.
Yeah. The Hawkeye looking at Quicksilver, like, holds out the arrow. No one will know.
Yeah.
No one will know.
No one will know.
He's like, oh, I don't know what happened to him. Ultron was just sitting on him. And then he just runs really slowly because he's human and he has to move. And then my favorite conversation or line or monologue, whatever you want to call it, in like the entire universe was Hawkeye to Scarlet Witch.
Oh.
When they're in the house, she's scared because she's so young and she's never been overpowered ever because she is so powerful. And that's just a hint of how powerful she is in the MCU in itself. And she is easily the most powerful Avenger, bar none. But when they're there, she's scared. He's looking at her and he's like, you don't have to go out. You don't have to. You can stay here. There's nothing wrong with staying here. But you step out that door, you're an Avenger. Like, I got chills going back and watching it all over again. And like he says, there's a bunch of robots attacking us. I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense. Like,
like that moment alone, it got to me so hard just because, like, I feel like I've been in that situation where I've lost complete control.
Yeah.
And I've had to just be talking, like, spoke out of it, of just like, can you do anything right now? You can't? That's fine. You can sit there. That's fine. I got this. But like, and I mean, I've had those conversations with you. Like, you've been the one to be like, no, you're good. But like, you can, it's fine either way.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously at a much lesser extent. Like,
yeah, I mean, we're not saving the world or anything yet.
We also you didn't even bring up Stan Lee's line.
yes, that's right. Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna butcher it, but they're pouring out the 1,000-year-old aged liquor that Captain America and Thor are drinking.
Yeah,
and he's just like, "Get over here! I was in Nam or whatever."
Yeah, I think he referenced Storm in Omaha Beach.
Yes, it was Omaha Beach. He's like, "Yeah, and I also went to Omaha Beach." So yeah, like, such a good line. Like, the writing in this movie was really good.
Really good.
When it came to specific moments.
Yeah.
But and where we talked about in Thor: The Dark World, which has a ton of one-liners, all of them fell flat due to direction.
Yeah,
I would say. And this one, it was directed well.
Well, and that's the plus about Joss Whedon both writing and directing it.
Yeah,
because he has a vision for how he wants these to come out. You know, they aren't words on paper for him, so he can get them exactly how he wants them. And I think they all delivered. There isn't a single one that I don't think landed well.
I would agree. Yeah. No, this one, it had so many fun moments.
Yeah, I mean, just gnarly team ups in itself. This is when you get to see the Avengers meshing as a team and how cool that is.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we already talked about the Cap and Thor's shield. Like, they're lining up for us. Crush that.
You get to see Nat with the shield.
Yeah.
Like, the whole, like, ending
Yeah, you
fight
see multiple
scenes.
people actually physically throw the shield, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Barton throws it in the party. Nat throws it out. Nat throws it in Sokovia. Like, they are a team. They are truly a team, and I think that played well with how far apart they got broken up.
I think I would agree, and also I would like to say that the difference between Thor and Cap is that Cap is welcoming for people to use the shield. Thor is not. Obviously the hammer has much more heavier weight to it, physically and like globally. Or
It doesn't, though.
well, it doesn't. But I'm not saying like you know what I'm saying. There's so much. If you pick up the hammer, you're the fucking god of thunder.
Oh yeah, you are Thor. You are Thor.
Yes.
You are the god of thunder. Not just a dude with a metal shield. You know, because even that's a one-liner that I want to bring up because Vision references how awfully well it's weighted.
Yeah.
Like, so good because he's the first person other than Thor
Yeah.
to actually swing that thing. The entire MCU.
Jeff wants to bring up the language moment. We spoke about it already, but he wants to bring it up in relation to him saying language. But then he says, "Let's get this son of a bitch in Infinity War."
Yeah, that's right. Because that's a different Cap.
And Jeff said that Cap could lift it, but then chose not to.
I totally agree. I
don't know if I do agree, but also my comic book knowledge is way less. I don't think Cap was ready for it.
I think the fact that
him not doing it makes him ready for it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck. But yeah, totally. Yeah, and like at the end of the day, there's so much. You guys see the Hulkbuster in action?
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about the Hulkbuster.
I was so stoked. I was so stoked when that happened. I thought, it's just going to be a containment thing when they first dropped it. When I first saw it, I thought it was just going to be a containment thing, and they're going to contain the Hulk, and then get full Hulkbuster.
And it was pretty dope.
Oh, so gnarly.
Him just getting drilled in the face of just like, go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Also a great line. See? A lot of great lines in this one.
Yeah, so good. See. There is like really one thing that I am upset that was in this movie that never came back, and it's Cap's magnet shield. Why didn't we see that again? Because that is genius.
Yep. I actually just saw someone that made one of those, and they were like throwing it. They weren't very good at it, but obviously in my head, I'm like, "You're not Captain America, so
you're not Captain America.
You're not going to."
You know.
Jeff has a question. Do you guys know what Mark the Hulkbuster is?
No, I do not.
I don't know.
No.
Ryan said 44 with a question mark. I don't know what that is. So he'll probably answer in a second, and we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But Lance, I think we're running out of things to talk about on this one.
I mean, if we got a couple more minutes, I got like two more things that I'd like to be able to bring up.
Let's go for it.
One of which is.
Wait, hold on. Jeff answered.
Is it 69?
Oh, do you know what Mark the Hulkbuster is?
Well, no. What? What Mark is it?
Mark Ruffalo.
God.
Got us. He roasted us.
Good.
He got us.
That was so good. I'm so mad right now.
That's pretty good, Jeff. That
was really good.
I hope that you made that joke and that you didn't just steal it from somewhere.
Yeah.
But if
he probably stole it from somewhere.
Probably did. Let's continue. What else do you got?
So the whole purpose behind this movie is obviously Ultron decides he wants to keep the world safe, and he wants to keep the world safe from itself by decimating all the human life, right?
Yeah.
All it took for him to come to that conclusion was to look at the internet for like 6 seconds, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
You log into Facebook one time, It's over.
Yeah.
All powerful, all seeing. Like, he just took one look at the internet and it's like, the world's done. I'm over it. All of it.
I could see him just like making a Facebook account, but he's just typing on a computer really bad, like.
Yeah, he's got one finger typing it.
And then he's like, enter. Oh, I got a new friend request. Oh, fuck this place. I'm out.
Yeah, over.
Let's decimate everyone.
Over. But they go through everything. The fight scenes at the Capitol, or like Capitol, whatever the city center, whatever you want to call it.
At Sokovia.
The Church at the Dead Center of the city in Sokovia was gnarly.
Oh,
you get to watch them fighting in that compact space. That's another thing. You get to see all those team ups between like now Vision and Thor. Just awesome moments. And you watch Wanda just completely come to her full power. Scarlet Witch just going off. And then obviously the loss, she completely breaks.
We won't say full power.
No, not full power. Full power at the time.
At the time, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Because I mean, when Pietro, when Quicksilver was shot, that was her full power. That was all she had.
That's the furthest extent that she's taken it. Yeah.
Yeah. And watching those fights, watching everybody show up when you see like all the Ultron robots start to jump off the side of the Sokovia, and like War Machine runs around and starts dropping them, and then Vision comes through and just rips them apart from the inside, which was awesome.
Yeah, and then also Iron Man shows up, and like he has a great one-liner right there.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it is, but it's like, oh, this is gonna be a great story, and he's like, oh, if you survive to tell it, or something like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember because I was laughing super hard at it because it was, oh man. It was okay. So War Machine says, "I can hold my own," and Tony Stark comes and says, "I'll hold your own if we make it through this."
Oh yeah, yes, yeah, you're right.
Which again, just playing, and it plays in that relationship between Rhodey and Stark and how close they are and how long they've known each other. But everything paid off when the helicarrier showed up.
Oh yeah,
there were every throwback they could possibly go. From the wreckage and the disbanded shield, because as soon as that thing broke the clouds, they go to the inside and you see all the people that were just the real ones from Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
that were not part of Hydra, that were stood true and stood strong, like getting after it.
And that's when they're like, "Oh, this is Shield," and he's like, "This is what Shield's supposed to be."
Damn right.
Yeah,
damn right. Yeah, it was a really cool moment. And we always get hints of like Nick Fury here and there, as he's always going to be there.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. It was really cool to see that.
Oh yeah, it was nice to see that, and I was like, oh shit, this is about to go down. No, it didn't go down, and then the city did go down.
Yeah, still not great.
Still not great. Which this whole movie puts us on to Thor Ragnarok. It puts us on to Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what springboards us in to all of it.
And eventually, Endgame.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, they all get us into Endgame.
Yeah, but I mean, this was one of the first times that they really started bringing up, like, this is the first time I believe the Infinity Stones were called the Infinity Stones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Thor brings that up. Yeah.
There are 6 Infinity Stones. I'm going to go find out where the rest are.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why Thor left at the end.
Also, I'm still confused of why they didn't just call Captain Marvel.
Well, I actually believe I know why.
Okay.
Because this entire movie takes place in like 2 days. It's only a couple days. It's like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, wow.
It's a really quick turnaround.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So even if they did, maybe Fury did. And by the time she would get there, they ended it. He's like, NVM.
NVM.
Yeah. Because I mean, she's coming from ridiculously far, and like it's just in itself, she's coming from out of the solar system.
Yeah, it's valid.
It's take
this
days for the message to get to her.
Yeah,
days for her to receive it and make it back here. So she just didn't have time.
Okay,
I totally get it.
I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Lance, is there anything else you want to bring up tonight?
We got to talk about the post-credit scene.
Okay, well, let's get through our ratings, and then we'll bring that up.
All right. You got it.
So, Lance, what would you rate this on a scale from 0 to 6 stones?
So, not being the best movie, in the MCU, being rushed and cramming way too much into a movie. Looking back, now that you mention it, I totally agree. It should be 2 movies. Like that would have really behooved the entire MCU in itself and set them up that Endgame would have felt more comfortable being 2 movies, or they could have made it 3 movies if they would have done this too.
Yeah.
I do think it's better than Thor: Dark World
Oh yeah, 100%.
by a large margin.
Yeah.
But I'm still only giving it 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's better than I remember it being. If you would have asked me before I went back and watched it in the spectrum of the entire, because I think I've only seen it twice before this. If you would have been back and asked me before, I would have given it a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, like there's a lot of good aspects of this movie.
Yeah.
But I would have to agree, and I wish I had my scores tracked from all of these, because you also got to consider like score creep. I mean, we did debate. You know that if
Yeah.
you go first, that's going to bode well for you because they're going to get more critical as it goes on.
Oh, yeah.
So like I'm also going to give this a 3 because it had a lot of good things going on, and I don't think it's necessarily bad at all, and I definitely think it's better than Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
Which I really hope that I gave that less than that, but I don't remember because, you know, that was weeks ago.
If we did, we'll modify scores and when we post everything.
Yeah, we'll
So
do
it'll be
like
fine.
a fucking end episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would also give it a 3. If anyone in the chat wants to give it a rating, let us know. I'd love to see what people listening would like. But Lance, before we get off, there were 2 post-credit scenes for this.
Yeah.
One, it's agreed. It's 3s all around.
Threes all around.
3s all around. All right, thanks
Yeah.
guys. I like the input. I know there's 2. I'm drawing a blank at one of them, but I know that there's the introduction, which is the introduction to Thanos.
Yeah.
Not the introduction because he was already previously in something.
Yeah.
But this is the introduction to the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes. Which, I mean, like you said, we had seen him before, and the second you realize that he's becoming a player, he's getting involved, like, I geeked the fuck out. So excited. Because I knew, but the only way you can do that and the only way you're going to get Thanos involved, you're going to do things, it's got to get dark.
It's got to. Has to.
There's a lot of ways that you can take that, because one of the things that Thanos does is like the reason he had all this death and devastation and everything that he ran with was to impress a woman who is literally death.
Which I get that.
Yeah, I mean, we all
get it.
We all do.
I understand that.
But I mean, we talk about how wanting it to get dark and needing to see that side of things, and they showed hints at it, and that was like, we're gonna get there. That was my for sure that we were gonna get there.
We're getting there, and we're definitely gonna have some darker episodes coming up with the nature of the beasts that we're about to encounter. And I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the other cutscene?
I'm drawing a complete blank, if I'm being totally honest.
I mean, it obviously wasn't that important. If it's,
I mean, it's foreshadowed by bringing up Thanos.
Yeah.
And realizing that, like, not only is complete universal devastation on its way, it's pretty much guaranteed. Which I'll be back for those as well, because I have gripes with Thanos as a character. So we'll get there.
All right. I'm sure there's another one. Don't remember what it is. Obviously wasn't that important if we can't remember it.
Yeah.
So, Lance, would you like to announce next week's movie?
Yeah, for sure. So, tune in the same day next week, and you're talking about Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd. Like getting into the MCU, which was like the most like shocking character addition.
Yeah, he was the absolute most shocking.
I was like, the fuck? Okay. But I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm very much looking forward to talking about it.
That's gonna be fun.
Lance, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at LancelotBFC. I am also the co-host of the Blanket Fort's very own Have You Played? So you guys go ahead and check those out. We have a lot of good episodes coming. There's a lot of good content that I think we put out already. So if you like video games, you want to think about some new video games, or you got some that you'd love and think we should talk about them, feel free to hit us up and let us know. But we're going through a backlog.
Yeah, very exciting. If you want to get a hold of me, you can find me. I mean, honestly, just get on my Instagram at Colin Ferguson, not the famous actor on Sci-Fi, but the person who got the Instagram handle first. It's spelled right there.
Boom.
Yeah, good luck trying to get this from me, man. Made tag commercial, whatever. I do a multitude of different things. I do Uncle CJ Reads on YouTube. I do Kid Ventures Cocktail Hour. I Twitch stream on Mondays. We do this on Tuesdays. I'm also in another podcast called Mise en Plastered that's going to be available anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. It's a hospitality podcast where I'm a bartender and I talk to a cook and we just talk about stuff that happens in the restaurant industry. So it's pretty interesting. Those episodes
super
usually
rad.
come
it's
out.
really, it's gonna be fun.
Thank
That's
you.
gonna be fun. I'm super stoked.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I think we got 2 episodes up now, other than their first 10 episodes. I just took over co-hosting, and yeah, we'll be having more episodes about that coming up soon. Lance, I wish that I felt like I had time for Apex, but fuck, man, I am tired.
Dude, same. No worries. No problem at all.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk soon. I'll throw up everything at the end of this, so if you want to find us out, all of our information will be there. But Lance, thank you so much for joining us.
Dude, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah,
it's always a pleasure. I love this.
We'll definitely have you on soon, and love you, dude.
Love you too, man.
All right, later.